This is an old rotating nozzle that I've had for 15 or 20 years. I used it once to pressure wash and actually to strip as much as possible a galvanized barn, 100-foot long barn, and in preparation for painting. It's time to repaint it again. I bought a new nozzle because this one was acting up. Sometimes instead of wobbling and moving the spray, it would stick to one side. You'd have to pull the trigger several times or shake and rattle it. So I'm not sure why. I have taken this apart previous to this video, and I did not find anything bad inside, but I'll take it apart just so you can see now what is inside one of these. By the way, this is used with a 13-horse pressure washer. It develops something like 3,500 psi, something like that, something up in that range, and almost 3 GPM. I might be a little off on the numbers. This is just a plastic rubber guard just to keep you from damaging something you bump into. So we got that. This has been apart before, but with a pipe wrench, you grab that. We've got flats right here. You can pull it apart. You're going to see here I'm exposing an O-ring right here. The O-ring seals things, so there's no need for Teflon tape on these threads. Okay, looking on the end here, you can see there's a little point there, little pin. That's one thing. The other thing to note is there is a hole. It's not drilled through the center, but it is drilled across here. Water comes in through the quick coupler, comes out here, and since it's offset, it hits this housing, and it tends to promote a swirl. So you've got rotation with high pressure water and a significant amount of flow. Now inside this, what we see on this end, and I think that's a ceramic orifice right there. And that's just all brass, good heavy brass. This is plastic. I think it's filled with probably glass. It might be glass filled or something for the plastic for wear. This rides right here, and that pin, this actually rides around the pin. So as the swirling water comes out, it tends to make this walk around. As that walks around, this is captured up further in here, and it actually promotes the wobble. So it's doing this, doing a rotate. Oops, sorry, it's actually going this direction, rotating around, wobble, wobble, wobble. And through that orifice, it gives you a spray that is dancing around in a circle. And that way you're hitting your paint or whatever, your rust, you're hitting it at many angles at a time, or at once, and it teases off debris much better than just a stationary jet. So there's something else here. I only found a little bit of debris here, not really, just some grit. I don't know if I don't think that probably had much to do with the function or the problem with this sticking in one position. But here, there's a little tang here. This little tang, if I just release it like so, this brass piece comes out. And the brass piece, I think that right there, that right there is a ceramic. So it the idea is it's not to wear very much. And you can see this is forced forward. It's doing the wobbling, and it's forced forward against the inside of that. So I think it tends to do this. And this brass, I do notice it's scored quite a bit, which is kind of interesting because it's scored, but it's running inside something that's made out of plastic, albeit it may be filled, the filler in the plastic may be something hard like glass dust. There's a little rubber seal around here also. But so I didn't attempt to clean that up at all. There are grooves there. If I were to open up or rather sand it down, polish it, I would be opening up the clearances. I'd be making that smaller, maybe more water would bypass. And that wear may be why this whole thing was sticking. Maybe it's influencing, there's flow bypassing, well, normally the flow would go in through this little grate and go in through this little plastic filter. It takes out the nuggets, but perhaps too much of it's bypassing through here and affecting the wobble somehow. I don't know. So I put it back in. There, it's snapped in position. When I assemble this, I have to be careful not to get it so that this goes right on the pin. Okay. I would need it to sit on the one side. So I'll put this in. It's sitting down at the bottom right now, and this will center itself. The pin should miss that. I'll tighten it. I'm just going to lightly tighten it. I shake it. It's rattling, so I know it's free. I know I'm not interfering. The pin is not interfering and pressing into it. So I tighten that up. I would use a wrench and put this back on. It just slips on, and this is ready to go. I'll try this again, but it's probably just wear that is causing it not to do the dance and the move. It sticks in one position. Maybe the ceramic is opened up and there isn't enough resistance to push it forward and bear on the front ceramic part of the nozzle. I don't know, but I'm going to try it again. So this would be a backup nozzle. We did buy a new one. I don't know if I mentioned, but it was about 115 Canadian. This one, way back when, 15 years ago, this one cost about 70 or so. So I have bought, in the meantime, I've bought something from Amazon, some cheap Chinese stuff. They're not the real thing. Like, they're not this style at all. Really, what they have is a light brass housing and a little, like a nylon ball that dances around and pushes on something. I forget exactly, but it's pretty cheap. And that little nylon ball sort of wears out and sticks, and you're not talking quality wearable materials, materials that will wear well. So if you've wondered what is inside a rotating nozzle, that's what's inside.